great modification that we had a lot of fun creating. We're going to choose the night shift. And again, most certainly one of the most enjoyable projects I've ever done. A lot of my hobby is going into first aid, so creating a modification that was completely based on first aid was just a ton of fun for me. Damn it, I don't even know how to play my own modification. Okay, so the fact that I could play for around 10 seconds without before it crashed tells me that I should probably do a rework of this game or this modification eventually, because it does seem that there are some loose ends that that could probably do with some fixing. The reason that we stopped working on this modification was actually because Emergency 5 was announced. They told us that they were going to release Emergency 5. Okay, there we go, much better. And we thought that Emergency 5 would be just as good as Emergency 4, so that's why we thought that we would not spend a lot of time on creating something that was just going to be replaced by another modification, another game. And that's actually why we stopped. But then Emergency 5 showed up to be nothing like what we actually expected. We got really disappointed, me and Lasse, and then we just started working on other projects, and unfortunately we never came back to this. Most certainly one of my favorite mods. Okay, we got an injured person. That is not a very detailed description of a call. Oh, I remember doing all of this. This is the first UI user interface I've ever done. This was the good old days. And the lights for this vehicle, just love them. The way the siren worked, just everything in this modification just appealed to me. We're gonna grab the medical bag, get over to him with it, and see what is wrong with him. Alert, free airways, normal breathing, no major bleedings. Okay, so this guy is A, B, and C stable. Let's check D and E. D, normal reaction, normal pupils, normal glossal coma score, a minor wound. Okay, so nothing serious. We're just gonna put a bandage on that and then cover him in an anti-shock blanket, and we should probably just wait for the ambulance to arrive. I don't think that there will be much else for us to do for him. We could take an EKG, but I don't think that would be necessary for a smaller wound like this one. But in general, this modification and how it works, I just love how you can take equipment from the rear end of the vehicle and it actually disappears. But it also took a long time for us to create. No doubt about that. Just close it. Just gonna speed it up a bit so we don't have to wait that long for the ambulance. And the ambulance is just around the corner by now. I don't think that these ambulances have actually been used in Denmark for around 3 or 4 years by now. So it's pretty funny to see them again, and the same with these uniforms. The last area to get rid of them was the region where I live, in southern Denmark, and they got rid of them I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, just around the same time as they changed the vehicles. Did we just get a game crash again? That is a shame that the game is so buggy. Back then I didn't know much about how to prevent errors like that. So a lot of errors happened. So yeah, rework will most certainly be in its place. I just don't think that I will have the time anytime soon. This was my second modification that I ever started working on, and also one of the more successful ones. I think I got up to 1.6 version of this, so that means I released 6 versions, including some not including some bug fixes for some of the different versions. So most certainly the modification I've been releasing the most. And then I think that I started working for them, and that's what caused me to stop working on it.
Medical emergency. Report of a circulatory collapse. Treat and take the victim away.
Medical emergency. Okay, so we have to grab these. This version was never released. What we're playing right now. What is this? That is okay. So there we go. We will need an ambulance, circulatory collapse. We could probably also use the doctor for this call. Very old version. A lot of the things that we see in modifications today was not even invented back when we released this version of the game. Because the person is lying over here, I see. I remember creating all of this. A good friend of mine did all of the texturing, and I just did all the placing in the map and creating scripts and stuff like that. That was a long time ago by now. Where on earth are you going? Oh, so it is over here. No, don't go around again, please. Please treat the victim. She seems pretty stable, so we will just return home with the emergency doctor. No need for him here. There we go. So if you guys think that that Copenhagen mod is old, this mod is probably 2 or 3 years older than that. This was the last thing I worked on before Copenhagen. Oh yeah, it also includes this police station down here. We had a lot of different cars back then. I was actually told recently that the reason that Odense modification was that Lasse started working on Odense modification was because that he thought that my police vehicles were too bad, and he would like to have a modification that included some police units, which I understand. Police units have never been my favorite. It's never been my main point. So I understand that he wanted to do something that included some more police vehicles. And yeah, that was the start of Odense modification. Try to imagine that once these vehicles you see right here was some of the best you could get for the game, and it was just the highest level you could find. Not saying that my vehicles were better than anybody else, because they were not. But once upon a time, this was the standard for emergency 4 vehicles. Yes, Scunbear, this is Aarhus modification. This is my one of my oldest modifications. The only one I have that is older is Skanderborg Nyborg modification, which I am not ready to show you guys yet. That is my first modification, and everything
Vehicle
in is
fire
just
caused by a technical defect. Extinguish
just
the
works
fire
so
and if
differently.
necessary treat all casualties and take them away.
Okay, so vehicle fire. For that we will need... Oh, this is my favorite part about this modification. Just enjoy this.
Så var det en kørsel 1, det var en kørsel 1 til I1, M1 og S1, det var en kørsel 1 til I1, M1 og S1.
Okay, so except my voice there in the end, those tones are the real one they use on the fire station. They used them in real life, and I just thought it was so awesome to create it back then. We will send some police units as well to the scene. Where the traffic unit? It is the one right here. Just to assist. For a call like this in Denmark, you would probably have a chief and an engine responding to the highway, at least. And then I prefer to also send the rescue vehicle for this modification, because I think that it is nice to have some more vehicles on the highway. Oh yeah. The station you just saw right there is New Munkegade. It is the main fire station in Aarhus. Back when I created this modification, there was a main fire station down here, New Munkegade it's called. It is where almost all vehicles were parked. It was where the chief is. They have 10 firefighters in full time, and then they have a part-time, some part-time units as well. They could page in. Then there's the Falk units over here. A Falk station with the ambulances and 3 fire trucks. The fire trucks today have actually been moved a bit out of the city. They are parked over here now in real life. Then to the north you would have Station Lystrup. That is the station right here, also a part-time fire station. That is actually also closed by now. Oh wait, it's not closed by now. It is going to close very soon. Aarhus have bought some new, have made a new full-time fire station that is going to replace this part-time fire station up here. And then there's the volunteer department, also from real life. They do not have any of these vehicles, but this is where I started working 6 years ago. So all the stations from Aarhus is actually in this modification. And because of some of the knowledge I have, I've actually been able to make it as realistic as I possibly could back then. But again, a lot of things have changed today, both in emergency and in the actual city. Again, imagine that once this was the top of the line. This was the best of the best. It was the best you could get from emergency modifications.
Attention, there are reports of a fire, probably caused by a discarded cigarette. Extinguish all fires.
Just gonna send engine to this one. There we go. Should be pretty easy to put out. Yeah, that was actually pretty quick. Today they also have sand-colored uniforms, like the ones you see in Copenhagen. They just changed some months ago. And then we can just tell these guys to take off the uniform. And go back into the station. There we go. There we go. But yeah, unfortunately, we have to play other modifications right now because for some reason AirScope refused to work, and I do not know what went wrong. It worked when I tried it before the stream, and then all of a sudden it just stopped working. Is there anything else we can play around with? I do not think so at the moment. Part-time can be called in. We have Ny Munkegade, that is the station right here. And then we have Lystrup, it's the station up there. Both can be called in if necessary. I remember this map from having some quite hefty fires. Especially the woods up here can be quite a nasty fire, and then also this residential area and this residential area right here is if that caught on fire, then we might as well just send every single vehicle from the start. Not quite how the station looks in real life. I think it's a lot deeper, and I'm not sure if it has these gates also. I'll have the siren of this vehicle. And the best part is that this is the siren it has in real life. The vehicle was actually moved away from Aarhus about a year or so ago, I think. And is now placed on one of the small islands around. And this rescue vehicle right here is actually also not in Lystrup anymore. It has been changed out and is now parked for the volunteer department. This engine is still in use. The tanker is not. It has been replaced by another tank engine and then finally a tanker. I think that the station up there has 2 engines and a tanker right now. But I must admit that Aarhus is not the station that I'm keeping the most eyes on at the moment. We could do with a call right now.
Attention, arson in the operational area.
Great.
Arrest the arsonist and take him away. Extinguish all fires.
If you respond down there, oh wow. What a great place. So we're gonna call
Alarmstation Munkegade. Melding til indsatslederen. Assistance til Lystrup. Alarm til station Lystrup på SE-enheden og sprøjte. Kørsel 1. Slut på melding.
Gonna arrest you as soon as possible so you don't start any more fires. And then all of you should change the uniform. Wait, why did you not arrest him? Oh my god. This is gonna go wrong. Right now my priority is to stop this guy, because he's gonna set fire to something else, and I do not want that. Especially not because it's gonna be that industrial building right there. Okay, we stopped him. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, back to Lystrup. And then you can respond, and you can respond up here as well. We actually have, yeah, we do have injured people up here. Okay, so we will also need some ambulance services. I'm not sure if changing into scuba gear, changing to mask actually works with this mission. We'll find out. Yeah, okay, so we need to save the people inside. That should probably be our next priority. Where is the injured person? Does anybody see where the injured person is? It says that there should be an injured person in here. Oh, she's right there. I see. So we will send an ambulance up here. Everything was much more manual back then. You can just go back to the station and you can go down here. Need to take care of some of this traffic also. That's a whole lot of people standing in the middle of the road. Where is our injured person? She's probably over there. Yes, he is. You guys can pack up. And return to the station. And then we just need to clear out all of these civilians who are standing in the middle of the road, so they do not cause any troubles later.
Fire caused by negligent handling of flammable materials. Extinguish all fires.
Okay, so we have another fire. Yeah, let's just take that. It's a good place. We actually forgot to send the chief. That's what happens when you have to do everything manually. Again, we're gonna call in Falk. There we go. And you can return as well. You can go down here. And we're gonna wait a little bit with sending Lystrup home, because we probably need them for this fire we got right here. But we're gonna wait calling them until we actually have some units on the scene. Is that it? Wow, that was pretty quick. But I can see here on the timer that we have almost been streaming for 2 hours now. So I actually think that we are just gonna conclude the stream right here. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. This is